I'm very glad that I'm just presenting my topics just after our colleague, because what we will try to do is how to make it really concrete in the Nigerian industry. So I'm going to talk about how banks, with the new regulation from CBN, how they can deploy in an efficient way, how they can have a mass deployment in an efficient way of POS. Because as we all know, everything is not about regulation. Everything is not about just, I want 40,000 biometric POS out there in 9 months. We have to have a look at how that can happen a way people will take benefit from it, and happen a way banks will do it the right way, and regulation body will as well have to put all the frameworks that will ease that deployment. Just a quick presentation on Ingenico. So Ingenico is #1 supplier of POS worldwide. We have more than 15 million point of sale terminal in active use deployed worldwide. And I think Africa is a market very important because things are happening. And as we all experience in the mobile phone, what happened in the mobile phone, I think, as he said, we are going very quickly to all the new technology, as it is NFC, contactless, biometric, everything will come very quickly. We will not, I can say that we will not do things the way it was done in the Western countries, whereby they have to start with 16-byte POS, 32, and now new range of POS. Let's look at statistics in Nigeria. If you look at what is happening, we have 74% of the Nigerian population that has never been banked. And then 5% that has been banked, but they have left banks. So this is just giving us an idea of how actually banking is perceived in Nigeria. Because 74% is around 64 million people not banked at all. There is a recent awakening interest on mobile banking, but are we really talking about transferring monetary value from a point A to a point B, or are we talking about financial inclusion? And it's very interesting to look at the 5% that have left the banking area. Because why did they leave? Is it because they were not getting what we can call really financial services? And the currently banked, as they really banked? Because if to be banked is to go to one banking hall and queue during 2 hours to pay a 2,000 naira bill, I don't think that's really what we call banking. So we can call them somehow underbanked, the 21%. I think we need to move from product to solutions. Because most of the time, I was discussing with someone who told me, yeah, you provider, you just come and you dump one gadget and you run away. I said, well, I don't think that's actually how it is supposed to be. Because the most important is to see what are your needs. Once you know what your needs are, that's not about regulation. That's not about, we want 40,000 biometric POS by December. Because why do we need it first? What is the market? What are people's needs? What are your customers' needs actually as bank? Then we are talking about solutions that will solve that issue. Because when we talk about products, I can come with, because as in Ingenico we can do everything. We invest something like 90 million euro a year on research and development. We have even a biometric a POS that can go with an iPhone. So I can come and tell you, okay, this is our latest ISMP. That's wonderful, your customer will love it, blah, 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 blah. You would say, okay, that's a fantastic technology. It is. As a bank, you can buy it. Will it serve you really? It's just a product. Maybe it's adapted for another market, but not for your own market. So I think that's very important that we start thinking solutions means adapted to an environment instead of products because it's gadget, because it's fun to have NFC, it's fun to have contactless. Do you really need it? Do your customer really need it? And on that, I think it's very important as well to divide into 3 parts what actually payment should be. I mean, electronic payment. We should talk about payment solution. We have to talk as well business solution, because everything is not about bringing out your card paying a good you are getting in the shop. We should, as well as he mentioned, that's very important, talk about transaction solution. How are you going to manage your terminal fleet? How are you going to manage your application? And how is the support done, which is very important. Now, if we talk about payment solution, we need hardware terminal with all the new technology, because as I said, things will move very, very fast. If you want to invest in POS, if you want to invest in old model POS very soon, because this business should be driven by your customers' needs, they can come back and say, oh, we want a loyalty program, and maybe it's easier to roll out a loyalty program with a contactless device. So we have to focus and look at options to make sure that the POS we are putting out there, they are POS we can use for the next 5 years or 10 years, which is very important. This to reduce costs of ownership from bank to come and replace all terminal fleet, because the right decision was not made at the beginning. Software as well is very important. As I said, everything is not just about basic payments, and software has to be built a secure way. Make sure that the POS you have can run multiple applications. Because something I'm seeing very often in Nigeria is you just get one application, and on that same application, you keep adding things. Today, your merchant will say, oh, I want to build payment application on top of my Visa or MasterCard application. Okay, no problem. Let us call Visa, let us call I don't know who, and let us add it. We are adding it without really looking at the implication in terms of security, because we are retouching it. Once you have the hardware has to be certified. The kernel is certified, then you move to the application has to be certified, and certification are majorly done on an implementation base. So once you change something on that whole chain, normally we have to look at the security before rolling it out, which is not the case. So as he said, it's very important to make sure that your POS can support multi-application, and those applications can run a transparent way, the one beside the other. And field service, I think that's the most important actually, somehow. Because if you look at POS, we can say, okay, everything is boxed, everything is boxed. But how are you going to manage that box on the field? That's very, very important. I think a lot of deployments, they fail because there is no field support. Field support is not just about, you can call me at midnight and, oh, my POS is faulty, what can you do? It's about making sure that things are automatized, things are done the way it is supposed to be done, and training is very important, very, very important, because everything is about acceptation. You need to make sure that your merchant knows at least the basic about the POS. Because as he said, most of the time we receive back some POS saying, oh, it's faulty, while actually there were absolutely nothing. That's just a problem of knowing how to use it. So that's something very, very important, to make sure that the SLA contract you sign with your provider are correctly done, because most of the time it happened too, that bankers, they say, no, I don't want, because maintenance has a cost, obviously. They say, I don't want anything like adding any cost to what I'm already spending. What I just want is, okay, give me, you are selling me 100 POS, put an additional 10 won, and we are not talking about maintenance. And tomorrow, if ever there is any problem, they will forget that they have actually asked for 100, 10 more to say, okay, we don't need any maintenance, and come to say, oh, I have 40 problems, I have 40 POS, which is something we should really look at. This is an electronic device. You cannot deploy it out there without looking after it. That's very, very key and very important. Now, if you look at business solution, like I said, everything is not just about basic payment, going to ShopRite, getting Wise, going to the cashier, paying for that. We should think accessibility, because accessibility will lead to acceptance. Accessibility means wherever I go, I should be able to pay, and I should be able to pay for a lot of things. It's not just about paying for my rice, but while I'm paying for my rice, I can pay for something else. Because that will make people getting used to POS, getting used to electronic payment transaction. And that goes through value-added services, a lot of loyalty programs, vertical market solution that we will go deeper on that later. Now, if you look at it deeply, I think it's high time we stop considering the POS as a point of sale. POS is not just about payments. We should consider all the new technology. It can be NFC, contactless, biometric, other things, whereby the point of payment is actually, you can do payments in different ways. The one who is not, who is not, how do you say that in English? I'm sorry, I speak French, so it's a bit hard for me. The one who is illiterate, he should be as well able to go and pay. So even if biometric is not yet a standard whereby you can deploy a MasterCard for that payment, those people, they are supposed to get access to financial services as well, which can be done through biometric because somehow they don't even need any card to do it. The thumbprint would be the account. The POS should be considered as well as a point of choice, whereby you can pay whenever you want and wherever you want, in store, outdoors, at home, and the financial services should come to you, not you going to them. The point of inclusion. I believe that we cannot make this 40,000 POS we are talking about, and even 100,000 POS. We cannot make them if we don't think financial inclusion for the unbanked. There are 74 million. This cannot be done without them. Now the point is, how are we making sure that this mobile banking we all talk about, because everybody is talking about it. In Nigeria, I think we have something like 17 or 16 licensee, temporary licensee company doing mobile banking. But most of the time, when you listen to them, for them mobile banking is just, okay, how can I transfer money? But if you look at the statistics, only 12% of the unbanked are looking to transfer money. Because the money they are making can be, they are not all poor, that's a mistake we are making too. But if you take an average, they are earning like $2 a day, and it's from hand to mouth. They are not yet transferring money up and down. We can afford to be transferring money up and down. If you look at what they want, the first thing is we want to save money, and we want to be able to get a loan to develop our own business, which means they are requiring financial inclusion and not money transfer. And to do so, we need to consider biometric, because most of them are illiterate. And the other thing is, most of them don't have any reliable ID document, because ID document is a real problem in Nigeria, even for the people educated and everybody. I'm not even talking about the 68 million unbanked, whereby only 12% of them, they have an ID card. So biometric can be